back to this. And then open this up. And hopefully everything is running. It's been a long day. Hey, Victor. We'll get started in about, probably say 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Get people some time to get in here. Because this is an interesting one, to say the least. At least of what I've played of it. Make sure all the settings are... Yeah, that's good. And about to get longer, of course. Had to take my car in today and had to get rotors and pads replaced, as well as one of my forget what it's called, the stabilizers or whatever they are replaced. So that was fun. So I was hoping to have a video on kashicforce done for today, but this week has been a little bit interesting, to say the least, and this game is a little bit interesting. It is one of the only puzzle games where... I shouldn't say puzzle games. It's one of the only puzzle fighting games that I know of where after I'm done with a match, I sit there and look at myself and go, okay, seriously, how did I pull that off? Now, we're always going to have those moments. We're always going to have those moments where you like, oh, you pulled something out of your butt and all of a sudden you got, you know, a combo at the end and you're just sitting there wondering. In this game, it's most of the time. And I want to show you exactly why that is, because I feel like for someone who puts in the effort with kashicforce, that they will get something or get a lot out of it. It's going to take you a little bit, and that's what may drive some people away. So, we have 4 characters you start with. I believe you unlock these other characters via the story mode, which I did not try yet because I wanted to focus on the puzzle elements. Each of them have their own skill sets, and I'm going to start with... I know it's her that I'm not fond of in terms of the skills. So I'm going to start with Hymeno here. Play a random. And I'm just going to let you guys see what I'm doing the first one. I'm not going to talk that much, but just take it in a little bit. And we'll play on normal. You're probably sitting here going, I have no idea what's going on, right? At first, me either. Because there's a lot going on screen. You got your typical stuff. You got your head-to-head 2 players. You've got your attacks that you would expect. But needless to say, the sort of machine gun focus that you're probably noticing here is a little bit different from other games. Because you're like sitting there looking, wait, what about all these things on screen? Like, are you targeting specific elements? Are you targeting specific bricks? Sort of not. Victor, that's exactly the point I'm trying to make to begin with. You may have absolutely no idea what's happening in your first several matches, because it's hard to grasp all the mechanics that the game has for you the first time around. In fact, it's really hard to talk and do this at the same time because there's so much going on. needless to say, when I meant that this game takes a little bit to understand, I meant it. Notice how I have a huge combo going there. I probably chose the wrong person to fight against because this person's one of their skills is to sort of reset the battlefield of sorts. Nope, lost. All right. So you're probably sitting here and going, what the fuck did I just watch? Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of mechanics that you have to understand about kashicforce, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit by showing you guys the tutorial. There's a reason why I started with this, because there's a lot of crap that hits you at once, and a lot of people will be... they're puzzle players. They're like, well, wait a minute. I can just jump in right now. I should be able to figure out the mechanic. No, you're not going to be able to figure out the mechanics without doing a little bit of the training. Granted, I do think the training needs a little bit of work. So, let me show you the missions. The missions are going to show you exactly a little bit of what's going on here. So, here's the thing. You have a console here, and this is by myself. You see that little targeting system? It could break any block. It doesn't matter if there's a combo on screen. If it doesn't matter, it matches anything. One shot takes down one element. Simple enough, right? So why would you choose specific elements? We'll get to that in a little bit. The thing is... we're not going to do that one yet. You do that because you want to perform techniques. So I start with the gauge here. Okay, probably not the best example of that. So this is a good one. Kill enemy blocks and fill up the method gauges. The way that you would do it normally in a game like this is that you gain a little bit of power by destroying blocks, and on the left-hand side there, you notice that things become available, like the orbiter, which shoots a row of them down. So you want to keep on destroying things, but you got to be careful of what you're destroying and where you're destroying. You know what, Last Gogeta, I'm not exactly sure if it's pronounced kashicforce or if that initial under A is supposed to mean specifically something. I think it is a Greek letter, but I don't remember. The whole point of the game's puzzle element, sort of, kind of, is to build up meter and to give your opponent a bunch of... okay, there we go. Thank you, Jake. A bunch of blocks that they have to deal with, like you would see in other puzzle games. The thing is, the bigger the amount of gauge that you build, the more powerful... I forget what the actual... Now that I've started this mission, I forgot exactly which one I was actually supposed to be doing. So, trash wipeout and kill 10 or more enemy blocks. You can perform trash when you have 1 or more method gauges filled and press the shot button while holding the command. So... killing enemy blocks with this method significantly heals your method gauge. So... that is important. That is what sort of destroys the combos on the screen in terms of those elements that you have. And those are how you're going to build up those combos in question. That's how you're going to build up that, you know, the amount of things that are going to the other side of the screen. So, like you would say here, I want to build up, build up, build up, build up my method, build up my combos to be able to do things and get enough of a combo to be able to do enough damage to the enemy. So, what does that mean for the actual gameplay? That means you have to balance fighting the enemy and giving them stuff while still taking care of your side of the screen. Because one of the things about the game is that you can attack your own screen, of course, but you can also attack theirs. And there is reasons to do both. The thing is, you can keep on attacking your screen and taking on blocks, but sometimes you may want to destroy their blocks because they're going to build up a combo. They're going to build up something that is going to cause them to get a huge combo that's going to dump on you. So let's go back to the CPU portion here. Let's go back, and I'm going to go with Agaha here. I'm going to go with weak because I do actually want to win one here. So notice my red. Notice how it's on the other side. Yes, I could destroy blocks on the other side, but I could also do it on my side as well. And maybe I want to focus on specific blocks. Maybe I want to focus on destroying specific elements. So notice how the enemy there almost let his entire screen get filled before doing anything on their side. And that is a reasonable tactic. So now notice that. Notice how I'm getting a huge combo there, 35, and notice how it filled up his screen a little bit. So I'm putting the pressure on him to do more damage to him, and now he's going to have to really work hard to be able to get that down. $20, $25, $21. Try to pile on at the end here. There we go. That's one victory. Now, you're probably sitting here to yourself, Dragnix, this seems like a lot to do in one puzzle game. That is one of my complaints. I admit that while the complexity of the fighting and the puzzle elements are interesting, there is a lot going on. Almost too much, in fact. Now, granted, maybe some people can take real advantage of that over time. But I will say this is not a casual experience. If you're expecting a casual experience, oh my god, you're not going to like this game. And that's not necessarily a downside to the game. It doesn't work for certain people. Oh god, he put a lot on my side. To say this is a little bit of a... What's the word I'm looking for? To say this is a little bit over the top would be... It wouldn't put enough justification on the fact that there's so many mechanics that are reasonably there. There's reasons for each of these mechanics to exist, but I will admit that I'm still unsure if that's necessarily great for the game, especially in the long run. Now, one thing I will note is I do love the music selection. The music is different modes of upbeat versus... Hectic is the word I'm looking for there. That's right. The music does fit the sort of chaotic nature while still keeping a little bit of a piece with it. Okay, so yeah. See, it's really hard to do this and stream at the same time because you got to keep your eyes on the prize almost at every point. Now, notice how much damage he's done to me already. Because right now, I've got a lot of bad blocks in there. You notice those gray blocks? I can't get rid of those in normal measures. I'm just waiting for him to do an ultimate attack here because I feel like he's like right at the edge of just keeping me way too bogged down in shit. Okay. So there's one other element to this game. If you hit the top of the gauge, your method, you get a rhythm game. Remember how I said there may be too many mechanics in this game? That's what I meant. And he's got me in a corner. Just look at all the shit that's hitting the screen. Yeah. Even after playing this for about 5 to 6 hours, you can understand why it can feel like you have no idea what's going on. Because part of the chaos of this game and part of what I have some issues with is that it is so fast-paced and there's so many mechanics that I feel like I can't keep up. In particular, like, for example, I showed you guys the enemy ended up having that rhythm section. That rhythm section is no joke. It is coming at you at about, I want to say 200 beats per minute, or 200, or speed of like 400 or something. If I was using arbitrary units, the game just keeps on throwing things at you and things at you and things at you to the point where I'm just throwing things on screen. I'm hoping that things work out, but it's so fast paced that I feel like it's almost really easy to get lost in the actual game itself. And that's part of the issue I have, is the fact that you get lost and you get so focused on trying to knock off things that you're not even noticing what you're knocking off. It almost feels like strategy-wise, there are strategies here, but it's almost hard to plan. Let's do... I guess do another CPU match. My voice is giving out already. That's not good. No. They're going to keep with Hymeneo. Each of the characters have their own moveset. Some of them have gauges that will transfer elements to the other opponent. Some will like reset your board. Some will do things like this. I'm not exactly sure what this does. I really wish I did. I really wish there was an explanation at times regarding some of the skill sets. See, I'm already getting my butt handed to me, but that 59 combo should help. You can see at the top of the screen, there is a critical line there. And that's how the match is going. That's how things are going to work out in terms of who is winning the battle. So even if I have a smaller playing field, if I'm losing that battle up top, that means I'm probably going to get more blocks. And that's going to mean more bad things for me. Come on. There we go. Is there? That should be... You may want to mention that in the title, because maybe I missed it. Is it... Okay, I know where you would probably see that, though. I do have to admit, I wish that was in-game. Because... Yeah. In fact, let me look here. View the manual, okay. All right, well, so for anybody who's interested, there is a battle system, and that does help a little bit. Especially for the characters, because that may tell me a little bit. Does it explain their move? Yeah, it explains their moves, which would help a lot, because part of the problem that was occurring was I don't know what Hymenode does. I could figure out some of it, but not necessarily all of it. Which I think you just noticed that, hey, I don't know what this actually did. So that was part of the problem. With that said, I do have to say that, yeah, the manual is probably a lot to take in, but I do wish the tutorial was a bit better on that, because even the tutorial... hold on a second. Oh, welcome, mermaid. Even the tutorial is got... Like, the missions are supposed to be the tutorial, and it's got, 40 of them, but I'm not going to be honest with you. Like, some of them seem like, okay, normal. I could beat them on normal. Okay, great. Didn't seem to train me in certain ways. Like, I was hoping for a little bit more specialized training. Because, again... With a game like this, you need all the help you can get. So yeah, like that tranquilizer one does, I can see what it does now in terms of converting those certain blocks. Now, one thing I will say is the fact that I don't like the fact that the method button, like, part of the problem I've had with certain characters is the fact that certain characters, like, their method and what I want to do on screen is completely, and I'm stopping there. I don't know. My voice is having problems. Hold on a second. Before... That sound is driving in my... Is that the effect of that ball of death that he has? I think it is. Can I get rid of that ball of death? I hope so. Okay. Okay. What was I saying? What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. The part of the problem I see is that with the button presses, like, so let's say, let me bring up, I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm going to stop it right now. So here's my, hold on. Okay, so in the background there, you've got my reticule. The thing is that if you notice the methods on the side here, the tranquilizer is up. So the thing is, if it just so happens that the pieces that you want on screen are above you, so above your actual reticule, if you're trying to do combos over and over again, you could end up accidentally hitting that tranquilizer by hitting the C button, which is the method button, and then using the fire button, but if you accidentally press up during that time, you end up using the method button. You end up using the tranquilizer, which is a little bit iffy. I wish those buttons were separate, is basically what I'm getting at. Because you may accidentally use a combo that you may not want to use, especially because, hey, guess what? You may want to get to that rhythm section, which maybe I can do that right now because I want to show you guys how fast that rhythm section is. One of these is... yeah, perform eliminator. So I'm going to try to get the eliminator here. It starts you off with eliminator. See how fast this goes. Just note it. I don't think any human can really deal with that on a regular basis. Unless if they know it's coming. Now, if you hit all the buttons all at once, it sometimes works. But that is a big complaint I have. Yeah, the rhythm section's great. I feel like just smashing my keys over and over again on it because I don't necessarily know what's going on. And I don't think any human, at least in my understanding, could really keep up with that. Maybe I'm just bad at that. It's possible. Let us look at the story mode too, because I didn't really dive into that. I have to question the logging system in terms of that numbering because you would just get really confused. Its sweet scent attracts all kind of creatures to it. Okay, it's creepy. A bit creepy, not gonna lie. A flower that should never bloom. A piranha plant? Oh, okay. Look, I brought everyone here because I thought this was a good chance. A good chance for what? What exactly is hurly-burly? Okay, Jake, I know you're in the chat, so I gotta ask you, what is hurly-burly? I do have to sort of point out here, the FPS at the bottom is great and all, but I do find it a little bit hilarious when it ends up going 60.00 as opposed to, like, you know, just 60. I should have. So they are understanding that they're in a game within the game. Okay, it means there's a lot going on. I would agree with that. Okay, so these are two characters. Harami is one character that I haven't seen yet, so I'm assuming I unlock her in this, and same with Alex. Everyone looks excited. I do wish I had control of the speed on this, because I'm sort of wanting to speed through this a little bit more. So I'm assuming this is going to be on an easy mode. Who am I facing, and what skills do I have? Real life is a Seki. Come on. I thought I had him on that point, but looks like I didn't. Oh God, that's not gonna be good, is it? There we go. I really wish the character was in the background there. Andrea, I agree with you. I still have no idea what's going on. I admit, I do get a thrill of winning, but I sort of sit there going... I think that's the biggest problem, is that when I look at match to match... I sit there going, okay, how do I get myself better at this? Is it the use of the skills? Is it the use of attacking the enemy's board? Because one of the things that, you know, I went to Jake early on here and said, hey, you know, I have no idea. Like, I'm losing to the worst enemy in the game. I'm losing to the weakest enemy in the game. And he's like, well, you know, try attacking their board. And I started attacking their board. I'm like, oh, okay, this seems to be working a little bit better. But I admit, when it came to understanding why that was the case, I had no idea. Also, good point, Jake. This is there is a demo with the game, and that is important for something like this, because I feel like otherwise a lot of people would probably have problems with it. Like, they would be like, I don't know. So having a demo on something like this is great. And in fact, I think it's necessary. Shit. Come on. Like, I guess the character designs for me aren't necessarily that. They don't bother me. They feel like like somewhere between chibi and somewhere between chibi and normal, like mini chibi almost. There's certain elements that are emphasized in terms of the eyes, in terms of the, I guess, the body structure, but come on. Now, another thing that I don't like is the fact that it always says defeat on the screen, even when you win. Because, yeah, somebody got defeated, but you don't know who won until the, like in here. I almost wondered if I lost that fight. Now, granted, if I was paying attention to the critical line, that I probably would have noted, oh, hey, I won. But in the middle of that fight, I'm not paying attention to that as much as I should be. It is kashicforce. Man, my voice is giving out tonight. I may have to cut this stream shorter because me. She only lost because she was. Well, that's not very nice. If I beat you, who beat her? Yeah, that's right. I don't know how I feel about them just like understanding, like, that they're in a game, or they're not in a game, or is this a game in their world? Like, I feel like I have a lot of questions that probably won't get answered. Which actually would be a theme for the game. Now, one thing I will say about the interface is that I know that everything is colorized here, but I will note, I don't believe there's any sort of colorblind options. Certain people are going to have real problems with the game. Like, the orange and blue, like, the orange can really blend into the background at certain points. And I've had troubles at times, like, saying, like, seeing what's going on. I think it's better with the light blue reticule, but if you have, like, blue, I think it's blue-orange color blindness, I could see, like, those having red color blindness having problems with this game in particular, especially for the first player. Is her... Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, so the screen's been modified. Great. Shit. I don't have skills. I don't have... We're just gonna keep on adding on things, aren't we? I'm not exactly sure how I did that. This is the type of game that I feel like it will give me a headache if I keep on playing it. That's why I copy and paste the title into, or that figure from the Steam store page into Google. I knew I had seen it before. It's on the ASCII table. I just don't remember what the value for it is. Can I back out here? Okay, Hikari, that's just mean. That's just rude. I mean, I will give it to her. If you're gonna kick somebody's ass, commit to it 100%. Wait, was it Hikari or Harari? Hold on okay, so it's Harari. For some reason I saw a K for a second there. Maybe I'm seeing things. I think I'm seeing things. Okay, that's good to hear. I noticed it came up with kashicforce too. Now, one thing I don't really have an understanding of, or at least, I think I understand why I get... Uh-oh. I have no idea what that does. Okay, lost. Nope. Okay. It is an interesting game, to say the least. Now, I do want to say a couple things. One, there's a demo. Play the demo. Try it out. See what it comes up with for you, because honestly, there's a lot to take in here. Now, it does have a local versus mode, as well as a championship mode, which I think is... Actually, I don't think I remember what this is. Oh, is it... Okay, so this is still 2-player, but it is like one after another. For those who are interested, settings-wise, resolution goes up to full screen, but 1280 by 720 if you don't use full screen. Post effects, I've got it on normal. I don't know why I have it on normal. I thought I had put these at fantastic, but I admit this game, the part of the problem here with the streaming this is that, as you can see, this game is sort of one of those games that takes a lot out of you almost immediately, where you're like, you're trying to keep up, your brain is in overdrive, and then you don't know what's going on. So I don't think I'm gonna last that much longer. Do people have questions? Because one of the reasons why I wanted to stream this specifically is the fact that I feel like this is a game that has a lot of questions for people to ask. There is somewhat a tutorial in game. Here. So that mission system that I was showing you, it's somewhat a tutorial. And Jake, can you tell me if it is in the demo or not? I did not check the demo out, unfortunately. So like this will tell you, oh, you know, turn on the shield, which I didn't even explain. If the enemy is on your side of the screen, you can turn up your shield, and them trying to fire at you, you could stop it, but it takes down your state meter over here. But like it says, you can break their shield if you keep on attacking. Different characters have different abilities. So for example, from what I see, like Shadi here, I'll even bring it up on off screen. Shadi's like first ability turns those blocks that you can't necessarily deal with, those gray blocks. She converts them into blocks that you can use. She could also create those they're called hindrance blocks. Those gray blocks, you usually see them in games when you get huge combos and they're like, you can't break them. So she'll be able to create blocks on their side of the field too, just from her method. She's got a neutralizer, which is able to stop certain like effects on their side, and able to raise the possession rate of your gauge, and the possession rate is up here, this critical line portion. That sort of gives you an idea of how the battle's going. Because like right now, yeah, it's not necessarily going that well in terms of my side of the screen, but note how I able to move it with this combo. Hopefully, that gives you an idea. You have the demo there, a little bit of the story. Jake, is there anything else you want me to show off? Because I admit my voice is going really quickly here. And I don't know why, because my voice was fine about 20 minutes ago. I mean, she's got the boots on. That end boss is pretty cool. I guess I haven't made it that far. But I would encourage people to try it. Now, if you're not a puzzle game fan, stay far away. You shouldn't even be looking at this game if you're not a puzzle game fan. If you're a competitive person, I feel like you're going to get a lot more out of this. But if you're also a person who plays puzzle games, you like competitive puzzle games, but you're not necessarily you don't like putting a lot of time into it, I also don't think this is going to be for you. I do think this is for somebody who wants to put the time in. This is very similar to what I think the situation was for Acceleration of Siguri 2, where it's going to have a fan base. It's going to have a very dedicated fan base. But for like certain people who don't like that style, like that top-down shooter style, there's not going to be something that's going to draw them in. It's a very much a niche game. And I do encourage people who think what they've seen on screen is interesting to try it. Again, demo. But for me, it's a game that was encouraging in terms of, like, I felt like I was getting better and better at it, but I didn't know why, and that's driven me crazy over the last couple of days. And I feel like over time, I will understand how I'm getting better, but it's almost the fact that that alone is also been driving me forward, like, okay, why is this working? It's almost like a puzzle of how you're playing the puzzle game in itself, which is weird when I sound it out loud, but all right. If there are no more questions, I think this is almost now a 50-minute stream, an hour stream. I'm going to stop it there right now because my voice is it's dying. I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys got something out of it, and that will be it for now. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jake from Fruit Bat Factory once again. And hopefully you'll see a little bit more from me soon. Hopefully with not my voice dying.